Okay, quick little instructional video of how to set up an Exergenie. In this setting, I'm using a football field. Typically, I use a track with going down the lane lines. So for this setting, I'm on the football field and going down the hash mark down the sideline. So first you mount the Exergenie to a stable surface. So for this setting, I'm using the fence and I'm actually hooking it up right where the post is. So it's the most stable. So you got this thing going on and it's connected to the post. So that's where it's the most stable. If you connect it to the middle of the fence, like here, it's gonna bounce a little too much. So it's a little bit better if you connect it to something more stable like the post, especially right where these little fasteners are. Make sure that the red part is straight. If it's twisted like that, then the device is going to twist and it's going to create extra tension, which creates a lot of extra resistance. So make sure before you go, this red part is straight. And then what I do is I pull the rope out the full length. So for this, I'm pulling it out for 30-ish yards, a little bit longer than 30 yards. So the rope itself is, I believe, 36 yards. So what I did for the workout, I pulled it out to a little bit past 30 yards. I put a cone down, so that lets the athletes know that's where I walk the rope to. So they accelerate to the first cone and they walk it to the second cone. So they'll walk it to the second cone. They make sure that the rope is traveling straight down. So like we're running down the sideline. So the rope should be traveling parallel to the sideline and running perpendicular to the fence. If you guys like geometry, so like the rope goes perpendicular to where the connection point is and parallel to the line that we're running down. So this is the first cone. So they're going to accelerate from the end of the end zone to the second cone. So that's going to be 20 yards right here, and then walk the rope to 30 yards. Does that make sense? They will start on either side. They won't straddle. They won't straddle the rope. It's going to be to one side or to the other side. So if they try to just be right here, not all the way over here, because that's going to create too much pull, diagonal pull. So you want the pull to be right behind you. You put the belt on. One hook of the belt goes through this loop to keep the belt on you. It's not going to be tight, so there's going to be it's going to be a little loose, but it doesn't matter because you're running the other direction anyways. The other hook is going to go through the hole right here. Some people actually put a one of those carabiners on it, so it's a little bit easier to fasten on. So that's an option too. You could just lose this thing, put a carabiner on it, and it makes things a little bit easier. So yeah, the other hook goes through the rope, and then when you line up at the start line here, you gotta make sure that the rope is not twisted. See, the red part is still straight. If it's twisted, anytime the rope does that, the tension's gonna be way higher. So you wanna make sure that the rope is not tangled. You wanna make sure the red part isn't twisted, because the more it's twisted, the most likely it's gonna tangle up. Anyways, that's how you set it up. So for this, start line's at the end of the end zone, accelerate to the 10-yard line, which is 20 yards from where I'm at, and then the finish where you walk to is at the 20-yard line. So it's 30 yards in total. And yeah, that's how it's set up.